Hi guys! It's been such a long time since I last filmed. I'm so incredibly sorry. Last time was like exactly this time of the year, but in 2014, and that's absolutely crazy. I didn't film in a year or something. I really apologize for that, but I'm planning to do my wrap-up today for October, like I did last year. And I'm hoping to continue and make a regular video schedule, but we'll have to see because I started college this year. I am studying law, so it's pretty busy, and I have to see if I can make it match up and if I will go on, because I really like making videos and I hope you like my videos too. Today I'm going to talk about the 6 books I read in October, which I'm really excited about because I read a couple of good books this month, and now I'm going to talk to you about them, and I hope you will read them or have enjoyed them, and I will share my thoughts with you. So the first book I read in October was The Sky is Everywhere by Jenny Nelson. I rated this book 5 out of 5 stars because it was so good, and it moved me so much, and it had a really great impact on me and my life. This book is about Lenny Walker, and her sister Bailey. When Lenny suddenly loses his sister Bailey to an abrupt heart attack, she is devastated, obviously. She's trying to deal with the grief and coping with the grief. And then there's Toby, Bailey's boyfriend, before she died, obviously, and they share their grief together, and Lenny is trying to cope with that grief by interacting with Toby. And then there's Joe, the new guy in school, and he's absolutely gorgeous and amazing, and they're together in band, and they interact too, and it's becoming like a kind of a fight with these 2 guys, like Toby and Joe, and it's really good. But even though a big part of this book is the romance, I don't think this book was about romance at all. I think this book was really about Lenny coping with her grief from Bailey's death, and I think this book was so poetically written, and that's my favourite kind of writing style. I really loved Jenny Nelson's writing style in this book, and I honestly can't wait to read all 4 other books because I didn't expect to love this book as much as I did. Yeah, there were a lot of beautiful quotes in this book, and you can read them by going to the Goodreads page, which I will link down below, and just reading the quotes to see if you would like to read this book, if you don't know for sure if you will like the poetic writing style, because I know people don't like that kind of writing style, but I absolutely did. And this was one of my favourite books of the year. It's actually my 2nd favourite book of the year, being the first one, All the Right Places by Jennifer Niven. The second book I read was actually a comic, and it was Watchmen Volume 1, which I rated 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Maybe because I'm not really a comic reader, but I bought it at a second-hand shop because I saw it and I wanted to try something new. But this one wasn't really my thing. I'm not going to write all of the comic books now, but maybe I will try one in the future, but not for a little while at least. I actually already forgot what this one was all about, so I looked up a synopsis, which I'm going to read out loud to you. NYPD detectives Steve Fine and Joe Burquin investigate the murder of Edward Blake, who was thrown out from his apartment home and fell many stories down to his death. The detectives conclude that Blake's assailants were rather strong, subduing Blake, giving the latter a large and stronger physique, and the sturdiness of the glass that Blake was thrown out. The detectives decide to cover up the investigation in order to avoid interference from the vigilante Rorschach. So that is the synopsis. Yeah, in this first volume, the story wasn't really clear to me. It was kind of vague and confusing. The art was really beautiful though. I really liked the art. I don't know why I actually didn't show it to you, because I have Watchmen Volume 1 on my shelf. But oh well, to stay in the style of this video, I will show everything with a picture on my tablets, so to stay in the style, you know. That was really stupid. The third book I read is That One Summer by C.J. Duggan, which is actually a third book in a series, the summer series, also by C.J. Duggan. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I'm really loving this series. I've been reading all of the books and novellas up until this one, book 3. I also think I read book 4, by the way. I don't know, we'll see. But no, I didn't read book 4. Book 4 is the last book in the series, I believe, up until now. This is book 3 and this is the last one I read. There is still a novella and one more book after this one, which I haven't read, but I started the novella, I think. I'm really loving the series. It's obviously a summer series about the Onslow boys, Onslow being the place where it all takes place. Every book is about a different Onslow boy, but they're all friends, so they all come back in the sequels, including the girls, obviously. This one, book 3, is about Chris Henderson, which is one of the Onslow boys, and also the barkeeper from the Onslow Hotel, and one of the girls who appears in the second book, I think, not in the first one at least. I don't know if she's mentioned in the first one, I don't think so. But she only appears in the second book, and I'm not going to spoil who that is, but her name is Tammy, and we'll see if you read it or not. But I really love this one. And I think I'm going to continue the series on until it's done. I don't know if there's any more books coming out, but I will read them all because I really enjoy C.J. Duggan's writing style. All of the books are really humorous and full of sexual tension, and that's like my kind of book. The fourth book I read, it was a rather popular one. It is called The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, which is the first book in the Remnant Chronicles. I give this one 3 out of 5 stars. I know this is a rather popular book, and it's rather controversial to not like it, I guess, but I liked it, but I didn't love it. I didn't care about the love interest. I didn't really care about Leah at all. Well, I will give you a synopsis of the story. This book is about Princess Leah, who doesn't really want to be a princess anymore, so she runs away from the castle with her best friend, and they end up in the village where Pauline, her best friend, is from. Then there is an assassin who was sent out to kill her, and there is the prince who was supposed to marry her. That's why she also ran away, by the way. He was supposed to marry her, but didn't get to marry her, so he's looking for her, and that's all he was going to do actually. He was going to look for her and look at her and observe her, not really talk to her. That didn't work out so well, but because he obviously talked to her. So there's Caden and there's Rafe. I can't say who is who because that's the whole mystery of the book, I guess, who is who. I actually knew from the beginning who was who. To me it was really obvious, but a lot of people were surprised, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't surprised. I didn't care for the main character. I did care for best friend a bit though, Pauline. I did cry because of another character who died. But I didn't care about the love interests. I didn't care about most of the characters at least not the characters the book was actually about. I don't think I'm going to go on with this series. I'm okay with the cliffhanger it ended on. I don't feel compelled to read the sequel, at least. It wasn't my kind of book. I don't think I'm really a fantasy reader much. I read much more contemporary than fantasy at the moment, and I actually kind of like it that way. The fifth book I read was Losing It by Cora Carmack, which is the first book in the Losing It series. I rated this book 2 out of 5 stars, I'm going to be honest. I actually really didn't like this book. The book is about Bliss Edwards, who's going out with her best friend to a club to lose her virginity. So she encounters this gorgeous guy, and they go back to her house and they don't have sex. But the next day, he turned out to be her teacher, and this whole fucking book, I actually shipped Bliss with her best friend and not the teacher. I actually felt kind of disturbed by the teacher-student relationship. I normally like these forbidden loves and forbidden relationships and that kind of stuff, but I thought the romance was so unrealistic. I didn't feel there was any sexual tension, which I absolutely adore. Sexual tension, that is. I didn't feel any chemistry, any connection. They were both gorgeous and they were so attracted to each other, and that was like really the plot of the book. Yeah. It wasn't good. It really wasn't. I know people like this book, but I really didn't. I'm not going to continue on with this series. It isn't worth it to me. I fucking hated this book. And the sixth and last book I'm going to talk about is A Million Miles Away by Lara Avery. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars, but I think I'm going to lower my rating. This was a book I enjoyed while reading it, but at the end of the book I started thinking about everything that happened, and I was like, that's so unbelievable. It was really unrealistic, and it was supposed to be realistic contemporary fiction. And this book is about Kelsey with a twin sister Michelle, and Michelle dies in a car accident. Michelle also had a boyfriend named Peter, but he was deployed to Afghanistan right before she had the car accident. She was actually driving back from the airport from dropping him off. Kelsey is supposed to tell Peter over Skype, but then she doesn't, and she gets in way too deep. The blur also conveniently forgets to mention that Kelsey also has a boyfriend during the whole time she's talking to Peter. What I didn't like about this book? Well, where do I start? I'm really into the whole person dying, grief books, but this book wasn't at all about grief for me. It was all about romance, and Kelsey trying to seduce her sister's boyfriend. I get she was supposed to be grief-stricken, but it really didn't feel that way. It felt... Honestly, Kelsey slept with this guy. She had sex with him while he didn't know she was Kelsey. He thought she was Michelle, and honestly, that ruined the whole book for me, because I thought that is absolutely disgusting. Having sex with someone while pretending to be your dead twin sister. I thought it went way too far at that point, and I'm going to lower my rating immediately. I think I'm going to drop it like 2 out of 5 stars, 1 even maybe. I think 2. Yeah, I really like books about grief and apparently dying sisters, but leading back to This Guy's Everywhere, which was way better, by the way. That one was amazing. Which also has the same plot actually, with Toby and this one with Peter, but I thought it was disgusting. It really was. It was disgustingly written, and I didn't like it, actually. Now I think about it. So it's not a recommendation for me. So there we have it. Those were the 6 books I read in October. I'm really glad to be back. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you will watch my other videos if they will ever get put up, but I really hope they will. I really enjoyed making this one, and I hope you did too. Hope to see you guys soon. Goodbye!